Hi, in this video, I'll walk you through how to write the null and alternative hypotheses in a hypothesis testing problem. In hypothesis testing, the null hypothesis represents the status quo. It is the statement that says there's no change, everything the same as before, there's nothing new here. In other words, what it does is that it cautions scientists to be conservative. Do not go and propound new theories unless there's strong evidence for it. The null hypothesis is written capital H with the subscript 0, pronounced H naught. The alternative hypothesis, on the other hand, represents the change we're investigating. It is written H with a subscript of 1. Other sources also use H with the subscript of A, either lowercase or uppercase. There are 5 steps to writing H0 and H1. Step number 1 is to read the problem carefully for what the researcher is claiming. We call it the claim or the research question. Step 2, write the claim in math form using population symbols for the parameters, such as mu for mean, p for proportion, sigma for standard deviation, etc. In step 3, we're going to write H0 by replacing the relation in the claim with the equal sign. In step 4, we're going to work toward writing the alternative hypothesis. We write the complement of the claim. If you do this step correctly, then between the claim and the complement, one of them must include the equal sign, and the other will not include the equal sign. Only one of them contains equality, the other does not. And the one that does not, and this is what we do in step 5, the one that does not include equality, that one will be your alternative hypothesis, which is H1 or HA. Let's walk through these steps. As we go along, I will be asking questions. At each question I ask, you should pause the video to answer the question before moving on and seeing the answer. Step 1, identify the claim. Let's read this problem carefully and think about it. A problem starts with the following stem. A researcher thinks that less than 30% of people in the US speak another language in addition to English. A sample of 300 people found that 26% of people speak another language in addition to English. So where in this problem is the claim? Is it A, less than 30%, B, less than 26%, C, 30%, or D, 26%? Hit pause and answer it. The answer is A, less than 30%. It is what the researcher thinks is going on in the first sentence of the problem. So for this reading step, do not get mixed up between two separate things. The first thing is the claim made by the researcher. The researcher thinks the proportion is less than 30%. Versus the data that we collected. We collected data that says that our sample has 26% that speak another language. That's a separate issue. The claim by the researcher determines what the hypotheses are. The data we collect, we'll use it later to test the validity of the claim. Step 2, write the claim mathematically using population symbols. Do not use sample symbols. For example, for the mean, use mu. Do not use x bar. One of the harder questions when you're just starting out is to figure out what parameter is being tested. So words like percent, percentage, probability, chance, likelihood, those will indicate that the parameter is a proportion. A proportion also feels binomial because you're either in the proportion or you're not in the proportion. So it feels like a binomial problem where you have a success and a failure. On the other hand, words like mean and average indicate a mean problem. Now, a mean problem must involve a quantitative variable. A standard deviation problem will also require a quantitative variable, and it will always include one of these two words, either standard deviation or variance. Variance is just standard deviation squared. So pretty much in order to ask us about standard deviation, the word standard deviation or variance must be used. So for example, if the claim is that less than 30% of people speak another language, then let's write the claim mathematically using a population symbol. Pause the video now and write the claim. The parameter is a proportion because we're talking about percents. So the symbol is P. The claim is that less than 30%. So the claim is that P is less than 0.3. Now step 3. To write H0, what you do is you take out the relationship symbol in the claim and just replace it with an equal sign. For example, the claim that we just wrote is that P is less than 0.3. Pause the video and write H0. The relationship is less than, we replace that with an equal sign and we've got equal. So H0 is P equals 0.3. Now step 4, write the complement of the claim. The complement of a statement is another statement that contains everything that makes the first statement false. So for example, if I say the dog weighs less than 3 pounds, then what's the complement of what I just said? Hit pause and determine the complement. The complement is that the dog weighs 3 pounds or more. The statement is less than. The complement is not just more than, but also it could be equal to 3. So the complement has to include everything that makes the original statement false. So it has to be greater than or equal to 3. All right, next example. What is the complement of x equals 7? Hit pause and work on it. The complement of x equals 7 is everything other than being equal to 7. That means it could be greater than, it could be less than, and the general symbol for being either greater than or less than is the not equal symbol. All right, now back to our question of the multilingual people. If the claim is that P is less than 0.3, then what is the complement of that? Hit pause and write the complement. The complement is that P is greater than or equal to 0.3. So here are some helpful complement rules. Less than and greater than or equal are complements of each other. Greater than and less than or equal are complements of each other. Equal and not equal are complements of each other. All right, moving on to step 5. In step 5, you determine what the alternative hypothesis is by looking at the claim and the complement. Whichever does not include equality is your alternative hypothesis. So you take that and you copy it exactly into your alternative hypothesis. So for example, we have the claim P is less than 0.3, and we have the complement P is greater than or equal to 0.3. Hit pause and write the alternative hypothesis. So the answer in this case is the claim, not the complement, because the complement includes equality as part of the greater than or equal sign. So it will not be the alternative hypothesis. In this case, the alternative hypothesis will copy the claim. Next example, if we have a claim of mu equals 98.6 and the complement of mu not equal to 98.6, which one would you copy as the alternative hypothesis? Hit pause and write the alternative hypothesis. The answer is you copy the complement into the alternative hypothesis H1. The claim has equality. As a matter of fact, the claim is equal. The complement has something that looks like an equal sign, but it's crossed out, so it's gone, so it does not include equality. That makes it the H1. Notice that H1 will not be something new. It will be an exact copy of either the claim or the complement. By the time you get to H1, you shouldn't be writing down a new relationship. After you've done this for a while, you will realize that steps 4 and 5 can be combined into one shortcut. If the claim does not include equality, for example, if it says less than, or if it says greater than, or not equal, then we know that it will be the H1. But if the claim does include equality, for example, if it says equal, or less than or equal, or greater than or equal, then it cannot be H1, and the complement is the H1. So we just write the complement and we label it the H1. Now let's go through a full example. The EPA claims that the 2012 Toyota Prius has gas mileage of 50 mpg, miles per gallon. A random survey of 41 Toyota Priuses results in gas mileages that are approximately normal, with a mean of 52.1 mpg and standard deviation of 5.2 mpg. Test that the mean gas mileage of the 2012 Prius is more than 50 mpg. So first, press pause and find the claim. There's the claim. All right, next question. Hit pause and write the claim mathematically. The claim is about a mean, so the parameter is mu. The claim is mu is greater than 50 mpg. Number 3, hit pause and write the null hypothesis. There it is. Just replace the greater than symbol in the claim with equal. Number 4, hit pause, write the complement. There it is, because the claim has greater than, so the complement has less than or equal. Finally, number 5, write the alternative hypothesis H1 or HA. So hit pause and write the alternative hypothesis. Between the claim and the complement, we pick whichever does not include equality. The complement includes equality, so we don't pick it, we pick the claim. You may be asking, so what do we do with the mean of 52.1 mpg and a standard deviation of 5.2 mpg? Those are sample mean and sample standard deviation that we got out of a sample of 41 Toyota Priuses. So we will use those later when we do computations to actually test the hypothesis. But the hypotheses are statements that we make about the population. We claim that the population mean is more than 50. The sample mean of 52.1 is not part of our claim, but we will use them later in the process. Right, so that's how you write the null and alternative hypotheses. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Bye.